So the former president of the United States appeared in court on Monday to face charges from a woman who promised to use him as a trophy defendant if she won her attorney general race. But don't worry, everyone. She is totally not politically motivated. Only in America can you so freely target political enemies, and yet no one bats an eye. Because this is The Brink. And folks, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like me and you like what we do here. And you can also become a Daily Caller Patriot. There's a link in the description below. Tons of great benefits. You don't want to miss it. Now let's take a trip back in time, take a nice walk down memory lane, shall we? This is Letitia James campaigning on nabbing Donald Trump before she even got to office for an unspecified crime.
What would you say to people who say, oh, I'm not going to bother to register to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference, or I'm just one person?
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Stop your ass and vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally.
I love it.
And you know, there's a word for this. It's on the tip of my tongue. When you target someone for political purposes, it's almost like a, you know when you know something and you just like can't get it out? Oh, a witch hunt. So when Letitia James was promising to get Trump, she had no idea what she could possibly get him on, right? She simply campaigned on, I'm going to get Donald Trump and put him in jail. And I want to quote the late Supreme Court Justice Robert L. Jackson, who once warned of a criminal justice system in which a man is the target just because he has an unpopular opinion, right? Just because he goes against the grain. He wrote, "It is a question of picking the man and then searching the law books to pin some offense on him. It is in this realm in which the prosecutor picks some person whom he dislikes or desires to embarrass and then looks for an offense." But Jackson's comments were so powerful, right? So fitting and so frightening because he wrote of the dangers of a prosecutor who picks people over cases to prosecute. He continued, "It is here that law enforcement becomes personal, and the real crime becomes that of being unpopular with the predominant or governing group, being attached to the wrong political views." And you know, I just get chills every time I read that. But Letitia James, she said more. Take a listen to her in 2018 when she called Trump an illegitimate president for allegedly colluding with foreign powers.
We are angrier and more deeply divided than we've ever been at any point in our history since the Civil War. And at the eye of the storm is Donald Trump. I'm running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. Colluding with foreign powers, putting profits over people, dividing us in ways we haven't seen in generations. I believe that this president is incompetent.
The hate toward Donald Trump and Democrats' refusal to accept him winning in 2016 and possibly in 2024 has led to these types of indictments. And it's just amazing how everyone and their mother can question election results and still claim a president is illegitimate. But when Trump tells people to peacefully protest, they're trying to toss him in the slammer. Now, Democratic Texas Representative Henry Cuellar, he gets carjacked Monday night in Navy Yard, D.C., which is kind of a nice area. And it's really emblematic of just how bad the crime crisis has become. And it's amazing to see how ineffective government is at solving issues because just a few months ago, 173 Democrats voted for a law that would lower penalties for carjackings. And now congressmen of that same party can't even go home at night without being carjacked. It's the same city that sought to defund the police, right? That's what their mission has been. When you permit a culture of degeneracy to continue by sending the message that there are little to no repercussions, what do you think is going to happen?
Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat!
Now, apparently, the View co-host, Whoopi Goldberg, she doesn't understand why can't we just have abortions and why are Republicans so against them? Take a listen to this exchange between Congresswoman Nancy Mace and Whoopi Goldberg.
Why am I being held to someone else's religious belief?
Well, at some point, that baby, people will agree with me that the baby deserves the right to life. And you can't say on one hand, at some point, but you don't want the government in the room between the doctor and the woman, but those who want the government to pay for it has the government in the room with the doctor and the woman. So you can't have it both ways.
No, isn't that Isn't that your choice to make that decision? Why do you want me to go with your belief when that is not my belief?
Right now, the states have the right to do whatever they want. In California and New York, it's all the way up until 9 months.
So let's talk about abortion, because it is once again going to be a ballot issue. Now, the crux of Whoopi's argument is that just because someone's Christian beliefs makes them anti-abortion, why does someone of a different faith have to adhere to those standards? And it's really simple. We're talking about the standard of life. It's not a religious doctrine that Christians want people to believe in, right? Like Jesus is the savior, or, views on sex before marriage, you name it. We are talking about a living thing, something that is scientifically shown to be living, right? And so often you will hear people on the left who say, my body, my choice. If you don't have a uterus, stay out of it. If it was your body, you would be the one dying. Plain and simple, right? We have to acknowledge at some point that this is someone else's body, right? It is the baby's body. And that goes to say, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I am, 100% pro-life. I'm not supportive of an all-out abortion ban, right? There are rare instances in which abortions are necessary, and I think a lot of Americans can agree on that. But we as a culture have normalized abortion as a means of birth control, which is flatly unacceptable. And it's kind of funny too, because you listen to this exchange and here you have Whoopi Goldberg supporting the government staying out of your, so-called personal business, when she is the same one who rallies alongside the Democratic Party, which does nothing but meddle in our lives, right? Tell us what kind of self-protection we have. Tell us to wear a mask. Tell us to make medical decisions with no real scientific evidence to support it and force these mandates. But now, Whoopi wants to stand on the libertarian side. And who knows? Maybe it's because she also knows that this is America on the brink, but we will wait to find out. Folks, you can tune back in tomorrow.